Today we are looking at 6D.2. And so we're still finding base area and volume, just like in our last target, or our last video. But now we are finding the volume of pyramids and cones. Looking at the volume of a pyramid. Sorry, jumped. Volume of a pyramid. So the base of this pyramid is still a rectangle or a square, so length times width. So the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height, or 1/3 length times width times height. Okay, so it's not that different from a prism, which is length times width times height. Okay, the only thing that's different is when top is a point, you use 1/3. Okay, that's true for the shapes. Okay, so this is just like a prism, except the bottom, you have a base of a rectangle, but the top is a point instead of another rectangle. So our base area is still the same. Area equals length times width, which here, right, I have 25 times 25. And 25 times 25 is 625. Units, again, area is squared. Now looking for volume, volume equals length times width. Sorry, 1/3 times length times width times height. So I have 1/3 times my length and my width are still the same. Then times my height, and in this case my height is here, it's 10. So I have 1/3 times 25 times 25 times 10. And I get 2083.33. You could also get it as a fraction either way. Decimal or a fraction does not matter. Okay, so same thing for our second one, our base area. Again, area equals length times width. Here I have 32 times 14. And 32 times 14 is 448. Ooh, there's a mistake on the last problem. Sorry, this should be units cubed. Volume is cubed. Okay. So, back to this problem. Our base area, 448 units squared. Looking at our volume, again, volume equals 1/3 times length times width times height. So that's 1/3 times, again, my length and my width don't change from finding my base area, times my height, and my height here is 60. So 1 divided by 3 times 32 times 14 times 60 is 8,960 units cubed. All right. Oh, sorry. All right, let's look at our next example. So our next shape we're going to look at is a cone. So a cone, same type of thing. It's like as a cylinder. It's the circle base, but again, it meets at that point. Okay? So instead of a circle with another circle on top, it's a circle with a point. Points use 1/3. Okay, it's the easiest way to kind of help you remember those formulas. Okay, so the points always use 1/3. So it's the same, right? Pi r squared times height, but it just has the 1/3 in front of it. So our base area of the cone, well, it's a circle. The area of a circle is pi r squared. Sorry. That's pi times 11 squared. And 11 squared is 121 pi. Remember, we don't type pi into the calculator. And this is just units squared. Now our volume is 1/3 times our area, right? Pi r squared times the height. So equals that 1/3. That pi r squared, right, is the same as our area. So pi times 11 squared. And then our height, in this case, right, is 21. So again, I can type it in the calculator without the pi. So 1 divided by 3 times 11 squared times 21. I get 847. And this is units cubes. Looking at our next example, again, area equals pi r squared. We're going to be careful here because this is our diameter. Okay, so my diameter equals 4 meters. So my radius is going to be 4 divided by 2, which is 2 meters. Okay, so remember, it's always just half of that. If the whole distance is 4, then my radius is 2. So that's pi times 2 squared. And 2 squared is 4 pi. I think this is supposed to be millimeters. Because this one's millimeters. Got cut off. Millimeters squared. Mm. Okay. Our unit is mm here. Then for our volume, 1/3 times pi r squared times height, right? So again, it needs at that point. So it's 1/3, but my base is still this circle, so pi times 2 squared. And my height, again, don't get confused just because it's sideways, okay? The height is still the base to the point, okay? So that's 8. And we get, when we type that in the calculator, 1 divided by 3 times 2 squared times 8. We get 10.67, we'll round. Pi, I'm going to type everything with pi, millimeters, and this is an volume, so it's cubed. All right, that's it. Go ahead, work on D2.